Patchy Mix either needs to find a new gym, a new coach, or he needs to figure something out. I would be surprised if they kept him. I don't know. I don't have the answer. Oh, two of my boys that I was friends with, or that I am friends with, I'm not saying was, I am friends with, Austin Vanderford and Patchy Mix, both coming up short tonight. And let's just talk about that right off the bat. I know we normally go with the main event, but I know some of you guys are chomping at the bit to hear me, eat my own words, swallow some crow, just basically take the foot out of my mouth, that kind of thing, or put the foot back in my mouth, whatever it is you guys say. Austin Vanderford to me, and when I did the weekly breakdown, when I did my Tuesday night weekly breakdown, I basically said he's got to avoid the guillotine. He's got to make sure that he keeps his head in the center. He's got to make sure that he's not hanging his head on one side or the other, because that guillotine will be there by Brahimaj. Brahimaj has a fantastic guillotine and is very reliant on it. And he kept chasing it, and Austin Vanderford caught himself in the guillotine and couldn't get out. Ended up having a tap. And then we move on with the Patchy Mix situation. I'll start after I get through these two, because I know a lot of people are basically going to call me out, say, I thought you said he was this. I thought you said he was that. Patchy Mix to me needs to find something. And I said this on my live stream. Those of you guys that followed me on the live stream as well, I said it on the live stream while I was going through the main card for the UFC. Patchy Mix either needs to find a new gym, a new coach, or he needs to figure something out, because I don't see him being the same fighter he was in the UFC, in Bellator, which is fine, because in the UFC, things are different. The bright lights hit a little bit differently. The energy hits a little bit differently. All of those things are very true. Absolutely. But the kid that I saw in the first fight, I was willing to give him a pass against Batista because he took the fight on short notice. Tonight, he had a full camp. Tonight, he fought a guy who was a decent grappler, but was not the level of his grappling, but still did things to him that I have not seen people do to him. The buzz around about Patchy Mix has always been, whether it came from Marab, whether it came from Aljo, whether it came from, anybody outside of Vegas, any of the guys, Umar Nurmagomedov and I have talked about how good he was. Definitely fantastic. Definitely good on the ground. Definitely hard to deal with. I have not seen that in his two performances in the UFC. I would be surprised if they kept him. I hate to say that, because I want him to stay. I want him to be part of the UFC, because I believe that he has a bright future. Maybe it's not right now, though. I don't know. I can't tell you. Something has happened, or just something is not. It's not the same. It could be that people have figured him out after the Batista fight. I don't know. But even his grappling tonight, he was having a hard time passing guard. He was putting himself back into the guard. At the very end of the fight, he had an opportunity to take the back, and he didn't do it. I'm seeing glimpses of him when he fought Juan Archuleta. And in that fight, after the second round, he was fatigued and he was tired. And this is exactly what he looked like. He wasn't chasing the submissions. He didn't go one time to the front headlock. That's where he makes his bread and butter. He didn't try to even attack that arm-in guillotine. Didn't even try to attack his normal guillotine. He's put to sleep Magomedov with that front guillotine choke and then stepping over the lead leg. I just didn't understand tonight's game plan. I don't know if it's the coaches. I don't know if it's just his mentality. I don't know if it's stubbornness. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is. I'm not there in his camp. I wish I could help him. I wish that I had a moment to sit down with him and say, hey, you have this, and these abilities, but we need to work in these other types of techniques or these other type of training partners that will push you in these type of positions. Most strikers are afraid to be taken down by him. Most strikers are afraid to, let their hands and their kicks go, because they don't want to be taken down by him, because the word on the street is that he's so damn good on the ground. But tonight you had a guy that didn't seem to care. Didn't care whether he got taken down. He was willing to strike because if I got taken down, okay, I can get the overhook. Try to get my hook sweep. Try to work to my guard. Try to jump to the guillotine. He had Patchy in a lot of trouble in 1 or 2 times where the choke was tight. And Patchy was able to get out of it, but then in that process of getting out of it, you've got to advance your position right as soon as you get out of it. And that was never an option. That was not even, it didn't even seem like it was a thought process. And that is where I'm having a hard time with this. I'm having a hard time with Patchy Mix in that even when he was able to and had free reign to get past guard, didn't do it. Put himself back into guard. And that's not a high, that to me, this didn't show high level of fight IQ, one. And that didn't show me a high level of grappling either. I know how good he can be. I know how good he is on the ground. You have world-class guys that are in the UFC right now talk about how damn good he is. I've had this conversation with Umar Nurmagomedov about how, yeah, he's really good. He's phenomenal on the ground. The buzz and the talk is that that's what he is. He is who we thought he was. Well, since he's got to the UFC, he is not who we thought he was. And that sucks because I have called his fights. I've interviewed him several times at the desk at Bellator. I've had conversations with him over food. I even did a behind the scenes when he was at the PFL where I sat down with him and had breakfast with him. And we just chatted it up with him and Mads Burnell. And we just had a great conversation and talked about all the things and just the way that we have just like, I know so much about this young man that I know how good he could be. And I was up here and I've been spewing about him, about how good he's been for the last four years or so. But I have not seen it, and I have to eat some crow. I have not seen it in the UFC. Doesn't matter what I say. Doesn't matter who says what about him. If he does not live up to what we say, it doesn't mean shit. And sadly, he has not lived up to what we have all talked about. That's it. I got nothing else to say. Until he makes some adjustments, some changes, whatever it is, I would be, not saying that I would be surprised. I would upset me that if they did cut him, but I wouldn't be shocked if they cut him. You know, when you come over as a multiple time champion from another organization, the buzz is hot, everyone's talking about you, and you have 2 performances like that. We were willing to give you the slide on the Batista fight. Everyone, I'm like, people obviously were talking a lot of trash, but they don't realize how hard it is to take a fight on short notice. They don't get it. They'll never understand. I do. I know it's not easy. So I gave you a pass. I can't give you one on this. This kid was tailor-made for you. He was mainly grappling. Striking was okay. You looked like you looked in Juan Archuleta fight where you looked good for the first round. Thought it was close, but you looked good for the first round. But then you got tired. You looked tired at the end of the first round. So I don't know what it is. Are you only doing grappling? Are you not getting your road work in? Are you not pushing yourself in your sprints? Are you doing any strength and conditioning? Are you pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion? Are you spending the right amount of time to recover? Are you getting the right nutrition? All of these things are paramount to being a professional athlete. I don't have the answers because I'm not in your corner, but I want you to be successful. So I wish I was in your corner. But I don't see the Patchy Mix that I saw in Bellator. Maybe it's the competition. Maybe it's the bright lights. Maybe it's the UFC. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have the answer. But I hope you figure it out. I hope you figure it out soon. I hope you figure it out before they decide to let you go. Because I know you can get a win. I know once you get a win, 1 will lead to 2. And once you get 2, I think it'll lead to 3. There might be some rough spots in there, but I think you'll be able to continue to grow from there. But you got to get over that hump. You got to get that first win. You got to make those changes, whether it's the coaches, whether it's the corners, whether it's the nutrition, whether it's strength conditioning, whether it's the gym, whether it's the mindset. You got to figure it out, man. You can't have this much talent and not perform. Especially, you can't perform the way you've been performing the last 2 fights. You can't have this much talent and go out there and fight like that.